3 Points of Articulation podcast. And welcome to the 3 Points of Articulation podcast. I'm your host, the big tasty Jamie Wills. I'm joined as per normal by Acadian wrestling star Johnny Flashback.
Interesting to be advertised as a wrestling star. We'll see how that goes. Thank you, Jamie.
Well, I think you're the first reveal on their roster. Am I right? So you've got to be.
No. Certainly not the first reveal. There's been a few.
The first reveal that I saw. So in my eyes, you're the Rock from the 2002 draft. Also joined by my first pick, essentially, Adam Hanston. How are you, Adam, the wrestling man?
Good, thank you very much.
Good
I got
stuff.
nothing else to say until we get into it.
Yes, we're going to delve deep into the realms of wrestling this week. Since the last episode, we've seen some returns in wrestling, haven't we? We've had a bit of a boom in the old wrestling industry. So CM Punk come back, first of all. Johnny, what was your view on the best in the world?
Yeah, I really loved it. Done it perfectly. The only thing they got wrong was not turning up those speakers loud enough to hear that riff of the entrance music come up, because that would have really just made it the best and, 100% perfect.
Adam?
Yeah, it was just lovely, wasn't it? It was a nice glint in my eye when I watched that entrance, even with the the riff missing. It was just something that everyone's been looking forward to for so long, and it was kind of getting towards the time now of, is it actually going to happen in any time for him to be capable of wrestling? And it has. So, brilliant. Well done, AEW.
I think Tony Khan this week said it was 99%, or the fans are 99% sure and 1% in doubt. And he said that 1% just made it extra bit better, because sort of that everyone was leaning towards the 1%. That was really good to see. I think I woke up at like 4 a.m. and switched it on. And yeah, it was really good. We also had Becky Lynch come back on the other side of things. The complete opposite to how you should announce a return.
Yeah. Everything about that was... Sorry, Adam, you go ahead. I took it first last time.
So let's bury two of our stars in one quick moment to put somebody over that, yes, certain people were excited about coming back, but she's come back in completely the wrong circumstances, not ready to wrestle, clearly not going to do much on the week-by-week appearances, and they bury Carmella and Bianca Belair in one foul swoop.
And Tasha Banks. Add her to the list of burials as well. Everything about it was wrong. When I said CM Punk was 100% correct, this was 0% correct. It was awful. Right down to, Sasha not showing up. I don't even know the reason why that is now. Do you guys?
No. Apparently they knew about it a week before. So
that was shocking, because they still advertised it as such, and so they shouldn't have done that. Then the whole Carmella thing was just stupid and weird. And then, of course, the 20-second match where Becky Lynch won with a rock bottom, which I don't think I've ever seen her use.
I think she did it towards before she got pregnant,
Right.
But not often. One thing to point out about SummerSlam before we get on to Brock very quickly, when they did the Olympic announcer, I didn't put this on the FWL, I did the Will's Quick Hits, and also I'm about to swear in a second, so I'll block it out of YouTube. But the ring announcer, if you watch him before they brought out is it Gable Stevenson and the woman, it looked like he'd been... Go and watch it again and just never look at him. Just it's an awkward thing ever. But once again, I say I'll block the spell out. I don't look at it like Adam. But yeah, it's the most awkward thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, there's the highlight of your SummerSlam then.
Yeah, that looked very well.
There's someone who's been talking from experience as well.
Yeah, exactly. Right, so let's move on to some news then, boys.
News.
News World Order time now, boys, and we're looking at all the latest reveals since the last episode of the podcast. So let's start with our shortest bit of news, which is from Zombie Sailor Toys, the reveal of the Matt Cardona figure from his GCW world title win. Adam, let's come to you first. I showed you the image of this before we come on the air, so views, please.
Yeah, I had seen it. I just completely forgot about it because it is completely irrelevant in my head. It's not something that I care about in the slightest. We always talk about Matt Cardona and how he's got his fans and how, you know, they will jump on this straight away. They're the only people that are going to be buying this. I don't think anybody else cares.
You'll also get the completists who are buying everything, but yeah, it's kind of like favoritism, but then again, they are very close, Zombie and the major wrestling figure podcast guys. So understandable, but it's not something I want to see a lot of.
It's almost like Nick Gage had a bit of spotlight for a bit, and Cardona went, no. I'm going to have that spotlight back, thank you. Have a figure from exactly the same match that I won. Seems to be the impression I get from it. But as you said, yeah, it's got his audience. His audience will buy it, and what more could you want? Well done, them. Be the answer. We had sort of unpainted renders of the AEW figures come out for Best Friends. So Trent, Chucky, and Chris Statlander. They've now revealed painted ones. Biggest surprise, I'd say, from this is on Trent. He's got Bill Murray on his knee pad. Any of you guys noticed that from the figure reveal?
No, I kind of don't recall seeing this. It might have been, not discussed very much. So, no, I haven't seen it. Well, I've seen it, but I don't remember looking at it, if that makes sense. So you might have to talk me through it.
Yeah, I was mainly concentrating on the head. Obviously, I know he's got Bill Murray on because I've got a custom that I did with some decals with the Bill Murray bit on, because obviously they would never get released in WWE or anything like that. So yeah, quite surprising. They must have paid him off with that one. The head's all right. It looks like him.
So what's the thing with Bill Murray then? Do you know?
I'm guessing there's Bill Murray fans. He's only got quite a cult following, but that's all I could think of, really.
Yeah, he's got like a circle which keeps going in and in and in, and then Bill Murray's head sideways on it on his knee pads. I'm just guessing he's a fan, or it's an image from a film or something.
Okay, then. A bit random.
But yeah, the actual outfit itself has got a black jacket on with Trent across the pectoral with a big question mark on the back. So obviously it's Trent question mark is his name, and then obviously the little spiral in the middle with a lovely little picture of our Bill in there. Right. We've also got Chuck Taylor, who I think is it's not one of my favourite guys in AEW, but I think he's quite a good performer. If you watch him in the Indies and AEW, he's not a bad little tag team performer. He blends well with Trent anyway. Got a bit of a beard gut on him, which I think matches the figure to the person quite well. Apart from that, it's quite a bland all-round figure.
I find Chuck to be a bit bland, to be honest, so kind of fitting. Trent's kind of the star of the show, I reckon, for that team. And Jesse out of shape as well, so it doesn't help.
Chuck has a really bland head in real life. Like, it's not just him as a person, it's just his face. He looks like an average Joe. And the actual figurehead's not great, if you look at it properly. It's a bit weird looking, alien looking, we might say, with a good segue.
I'll let you have that, because next up we've got Chris Statlander, who has come out with a bit of a bang as of yet. And I think she looks quite good. It's quite colourful. It's quite detailed. She's got all of the tape in the right places. Her hair looks quite good. She's got a bit of face paint as well. Adam, let's come to you on this one. What's your view on the alien? Yeah,
it's the best of the trio as far as looking like her. It's definitely a very toyetic figure. We use that word quite a lot on here. But it's going to be with her character, the alien character and the face paints. Looks pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, a very colourful character that leads to a good figure, you'd think. So, yeah. And it's good to see they're expanding the roster as well, not doing the same guys all the time.
Exactly. I think that's the key thing with it. You can put them with your Orange Cassidy, and they're quite an over tag team or a group stable, as you guess you'd refer to it as. So, good to see. So let's slide on over to some quick WWE news. Not as much as normal, but all they've done, they've changed the packaging on the top picks for this year, which It's quite surprising because I like to keep it quite uniform. But yeah, have you guys seen the packaging? I take it with the black and the blue.
Yeah, I've seen it. The thing with the packaging changing, they do it all the time anyway. So it's not like it's surprising, like you say. It's not very surprising they've done that. So I don't really care because with Elites, I kind of bought on them anyway. So it's not really for me. And the reason I probably don't collect Elites as a series is because they change the packaging all the time. So they're never going to be uniform across the whole line, which is the reason why I like the classic superstars or even the AEW figures, because they, the same packaging throughout the line, or at least so far anyway.
I think you definitely said packaging enough time for Jamie there.
Yeah.
I'm in a similar vein to you. I'm the wrong audience because I saw it and I saw lots of very opinionated comments on the figure groups about how it was bad and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. It was just the outer packaging to a figure. It makes no difference to me.
I think, Johnny said obviously it's not as uniform as you would hope. I'm guessing the only reason they do it is to differentiate that figure between the one that they've released before for it to be a top pick.
Jamie, I think you're concentrating too much on the top picks. This is the box design going forward for the next line, the next 10 series of Elites or whatever they do. They change it every year or two. So that's what you're seeing in the top picks of the first ones being shown in that style. So you'll see it in the Elites as well.
Well, they're bloody rubbish then, aren't they? Livid with it. Yeah, who cares? I care because I thought it was newsworthy. Let's switch over to Cheddar then. Our final stop on the road. So today we had revealed the Haku figure is going to come with a crown, which didn't have before. They listened to a bit of feedback that they had from fans, and it now comes with a crown, which is always good. And they've also switched his death grip to the other hand.
The thing with that is that, oh, sorry, again, I've talked over you.
I know, it's because Jamie never keeps passing it over. Just keeps leaving it open.
It's funnier this way.
I did hear that Haku requested a slight body shape change as well, so there's been a body shape change to it, I believe.
That was the hand, I believe. Haku requested the Tongan death grip go onto the stronger hand, which I think is the right hand, as opposed to the weaker left.
So yeah, that makes sense. But the thing is with the Haku in that era never used the Tongan death grip. He only used that when he became main WCW. So I don't know whether that's important or not, but it's there. So fair enough. Adding the crown, the crown doesn't do anything for me. I really could care less about adding that as an accessory if it's not going to have a cape as well, because you've got half an outfit really. And the fact that I've got a couple of the King Harley type crowns lying around, and I've got, that recent JYD comes with crowns as well. You could have just popped one of them on if you really wanted to.
I kind of disagree with that to a degree. I think it's good for people that don't have those type of figures to actually get the accessory with it. I mean, we're always going on about how figures aren't coming with accessories and they're coming with boring stuff like extra hands and stuff. Fair play to Chella on this one, I think. Yes, the cape would have been much better with it. Don't get me wrong. Interesting about the copyright design of the crown. Can you copyright a style of crown?
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. I wouldn't have thought that has anything to do with it. But what I'm saying is, like, will that push up the price of this figure? Because we've seen the Dynamite Kid comes with accessories and it's 25 quid compared to the regular ones without accessories, or 18, 17 pounds. So adding accessory for an extra 8 quid's what I mean in terms of not really that bothered in terms of this figure.
I would imagine, yeah, go up by a couple of quid. Hope. So sticking with Shadow, we've had the figure for Giant Haystacks released, which is we've had both the normal and the variant. I'm still not sure whether we can call it a chase or not because they haven't fully explained what you do with it. We've had the blue with sort of a Cruella de Vil type jacket, black and a white with black spots, and a brown with a similar jacket as well. So have you guys seen these? They look amazing. Johnny, let's come to you first.
Yeah, it's quite good to get these sort of characters in the line, a British legend. So yeah, brilliant. In the done a good job on it as well. And as you always say, the bigger guys kind of lend themselves well to figures, and they're usually done quite well. So hats off, well done.
Yeah, they've done the best that I could have hoped for with this one. Excited about it. Definitely going to be getting it.
I think if they were ever going to go on the shelves of like toy stores and so on, this would be the one I'd hope they'd at least start with, or at least get on the shelf, because you got to think the amount of people that say to you, and you say you're a wrestling fan or a wrestling collector, is I remember the days of Big Daddy and Giant Haystack. So it'd be good to get these on the shelves and get people pick this up, part-time fans and previous fans and so on. So interesting to see if they could do that.
Yeah, never thought of it, but yeah, you might have a point, but who knows? I couldn't really go into that and say I know anything about it. But I hope they do dive into more of the world of sport type areas, because I've recently been watching some, and I'm just being mesmerized by some of the technicality of like some of the wrestlers. Like last week, I did a seminar with Johnny Kidd, who was one of those British wrestlers from the 80s, and my God, it just blew my mind with the stuff he was training us. So really getting into that again.
That's why you're the Arcadian's top wrestling star, Johnny. Right, so Blue Meanie has also had his second figure from Shadow revealed, this time in the blue BWO shirt, which is quite good on his own, which I know they've got some paint jobs left over from the previous one, but Adam, let's come to you on the Blue Meanie, so you're quite a fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's the one that everyone wanted. The Mind of Meanie was brilliant, and the figure was toyetic. It was brilliant, but when it comes to it, if you said we're getting a Blue Meanie figure, everyone would say BWO every time. The success of it will depend on whether they get the other two, I think. I think you'll see a lot of them from non-completists getting resold, secondary market, like having it, not caring that much, getting rid, unless you get all three.
Maybe. I know some people weren't happy about the 2-pack release, so because it has Josh Chernoff as part of the package. So yeah, people are going to like this one better than the 2-pack, really. So it needs to be done.
But don't worry, because Josh Chernoff has also got a Fight TV exclusive coming out where you can get Fight TV points from it. He did put a full dialogue on there to say how you redeem your Fight TV point. It's too much effort for what I want from a toy. I think you've got to take a picture of it watching Fight TV, and you've got to do some weird stuff, jump through many hoops just to get some points for an app which costs £3.50 for AEW anyway. So, Johnny, what's your view on the Josh Chernoff figure?
I kind of didn't know any of that, so a lot of that's news to me. But I've just sat here with my hands on my head thinking, what the hell's all that about? Nobody's going to be, well, there will be some people, but a lot of people are not going to be bothered about that, really.
They might as well put on the packaging completists only, because that'll be the bothered.
Interesting fact, we've got more Twitter, we've got more Instagram followers than he does. So
not bad.
Yeah, we're odd. Lovely, and that's it for news this week. Let's end on the high that we have more Instagram followers. So quite a short week on news this week. I don't know if there's some big reveals coming from WWE soon. You would hope so, because they've got a session booked in with Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano soon. So should be something big.
Keep an eye out.
Let's keep an eye out if Adam Cole's still the company. Let's crack on with some pick-me-ups in a sex there, boys. Get your purchases ready.
Ooh, some lovely pick-me-ups.
Pick-me-ups time. Now we're looking at all our purchases since the last episode of the podcast. And why didn't I start this week? Let's treat ourselves, shall we? So I'm off the raffles, but I did win a prize giveaway for the Wrestle HQ Vault. I won the monthly prize, the giveaway I have on there. I won a signed Hulk Hogan pop, one of 215 pieces. Not something that I would have bought myself or something I would have maybe wanted, but I own it now, which is good. And it also come with a mini belt, but I didn't want it, so he gave me a Stone Cold Steve Austin Ultimate instead, which is always good fun.
Well,
Johnny's rolling his eyes. As I said, Johnny's rolling his eyes.
I've literally got nothing to talk about this week because I've got two purchases which I'm sure we've all got, which is the Stone Cold Ultimate, and you've just done it straight away. That'll give me a chance to say anything.
I did not know that you meant this. I thought you meant the other one.
Yeah.
That we all had.
I meant...
Well, that's awkward, Johnny. Why don't you talk us through the Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Now, we'll continue talking about your Hulk Hogan first.
It feels a bit dampened now, to be honest. But yeah, Hulk Hogan Funko, JSA, signature. And that's about it, really.
What's that kind of worth on the grand scale of things? Because I know nothing about Pops.
Probably 150, 200, I'd say. I know the latest one sold on 100 for 100 quid, which I'm guessing Johnny from Wrestle HQ probably won. It's exactly the same one. But all in all, I think in America they go for 150, 200. So it's only raising value of being one of 215 pieces and signed.
It seems quite low for like a low run thing and signed by Hogan himself. So I wouldn't probably put more value onto it. But like Adam, I don't really know either.
No, I know what I need to know about them. But yeah, I'll probably keep it off for a bit and then sell when I need to.
Well, that was really going to be my question. It's like, how much are you going to sell it for?
Yeah. Well, I say it's not something that I sort of particularly need in my collection or something I'm keen on starting. So it'll just sit in my collection for a bit and then until the time's right.
Very good. Well done then.
Ultimate.
What?
The Ultimate Stone Cold, Johnny. Go ahead.
Yeah, I previously pre-ordered this along with Ric Flair, which I showed last time. So this is the second half of the order, really. Got it from Sunnet Toys, which I think Adam did as well. So it's come in really good condition. Can't complain about the service. They pretty much shipped it as soon as they got it. They didn't even, wait till the full order was in. So it shipped in independently of each other, which was nice. The accessories are really good. I think the torso actually looks better than I originally thought in terms of when we seen pictures of it. So I was mildly surprised on that one. And I think it's actually quite good compared to when I first seen it.
Yeah, I agree. It's still not my cup of tea, the body at all. But it is, with the kind of wraparound chest plate, it is a little bit better than I thought. No comments about the people that sent it, but one of my hands has come out, which really annoys me being OCD.
I've got that.
One of my hands is swollen. So obviously nothing to do with Sonnet Toys that sent it. They sent it in a beautiful package, but it's just how they've actually put it in the box, unfortunately.
But Jamie's yours is like that as well.
Yeah, I've got one hand that's come out. It's sort of rattling around. You can hear it. I've tried to do you remember those little games you used to have when you were a kid, and you have to try and get the little ball bearings in the hole? Yeah, I've tried to do that with it, which to no avail. But my microphone's also on the way out, so it's quite a common thing with ultimates. I think you had a different ultimate that had the same. Triple H had the same thing.
Oh well, I've got quite a nice one here, so I don't know whether I should open it now.
I'll send you mine.
I'll cheers, mate.
Well, it's free, technically.
Right, should we move on to me?
Yeah, why not?
So this is just a little repeat showing, and a thank you to you, Jamie, because I got my Brody Lee Micro Brawler in the post. It's nice. It's a really good one that they've put the coat on him because it just makes the Brawler twice as toyetic and twice as good. It will go in my AEW display, which is growing to become an awesome display at the moment. One other reason we'll find out very soon in this segment. So cheers, Jamie.
Oh, that's all right. So I saw it and thought of you. I thought you'd enjoy it. Surprised how good the packaging was on it. Because I thought coming from America, it'd be absolutely battered, but it's all right.
Yeah, it looks really nice. The white pops for the figure, so yeah, very good. And you just imagine what the upcoming Brody Lee figure from Jazzwares is going to be like. It could be quite similar.
Yeah.
Are we back to me, or should we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you ever find toy lines and toy figures that you've never heard of before, even though you're quite an avid collector. You keep your eye out every now and again. I come across this Heroes of Wrestling Psycho Sid that I'd never heard of before or never seen or anything. So it's quite a weird thing, but it fits in my sort of 96, 97 display. To my knowledge, they've only done Sid and Taker.
Right.
But yeah, it's quite a big piece, and it's quite a weird piece as well.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen those before. I was wondering about. I think I've seen a Shawn Michaels that looks similar. I'm not sure if it's the same line or not, but yeah, I've never seen that.
I think it's
I think there was a line of 4 which were maybe called Ripped and Ruthless or something. I think he had Lou Albano in as well.
You've combined your Jax there. So Lou Albano was the manager's series from Jax. BCA had like a series where it had Lou Albano, Andre, Snooker, and one more. Ripped and Ruthless, they had 2 series of. They had Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Taker, Goldust, Sable got one, Austin, Mankind, and Kane, I think, were the 2 series. So they're essentially the same thing, like a statue, and it comes on like a broken wall in the background on like a flat platform. These are a lot bigger and a bit uglier as well. But yeah, very strange figures.
Interesting but ugly, yes.
That's me. But yeah, I just thought I'd share the weird thing, because I think I also had, I don't know, it's a bit of a side note, when my mum got me a Christmas present in 98, she forgot to give to me, found the back of a wardrobe about 8-9 years ago. It was like a thumb wrestling thing from what you call it? Toy Island, I think it was called. It was Undertaker and Stone Cold, and you sort of have a little thumb wrestle with them. Never seen it before, never seen it since. So very weird. But yeah, they churned out crap in 98, didn't they?
Yes, I think I've actually got some of them thumb wrestling things. Rubbish, absolute rubbish.
Right back to you, Johnny.
Yeah, I can do. I know we've all got this one because probably half of the collecting figure community have got it, because it's Cody Rhodes Chase AEW, and it's one of 1,000. So still, quite a rare one compared to how they do the chases now. And this was on Midco's eBay, so they've advertised in advance that they'll be coming on at 6 p.m. So everyone knew when to get it. It costs $59.99, which is fair enough because there's going to be a lot of demand for it. And it's only worth more now anyway, isn't it? I think we've seen auctions already have gone over about 150. So not a bad purchase, that one.
No, I think it's better than just saying fair enough for the price. I think a big round of applause to Midco on this. I mean, we'll kind of cover how people are doing their selling, but this is a massive thumbs up to Midco to actually put them on, to give fans notice. I don't know if there was any limitations on it. If there was, brilliant. If there wasn't, what can you do? But there was enough to satisfy the people that actually looked for it and cared about it, which is brilliant.
Yeah, I think in the first post they did put one per person, but on eBay there's no way to stop anyone doing that. So it would have been a case of them cancelling the order if they were going to do that. So we never heard anything on their social about cancelling orders. So if someone did order more than one, I imagine they've got it actually. So what can you do, as you say?
I think fair play. If you've got the time to add it to your basket and change the quantity before it was sold out, then fair plays to you. But yeah, I think that with this one, it's instantly gone up to 160. Play the waiting game with it, and it'll be over to 250. I would have thought in no time. But yeah, it's a fair place. And we said before, didn't we, that what we would like to see from a company, not quite this, but is to say, look, we've got a chase by 50 or 1 in 50 or something. We'll be getting these. So good to see them going, being readily available over here.
I definitely like this method better than the chance of getting a chase, to be honest. As I said, about a question we got asked a few weeks ago, the thrill of the chase does nothing for me. I want to just buy something, and if I pay 3 times as much, so be it. I'd rather do that than buy 50 Codys and not get one.
I think from a business standpoint, though, that's what I would do. If I owned a shop and I had a chase, I'd say we've got a chase. One would be sent randomly. It would bring people to your business, wouldn't it?
I think it makes a difference what we're talking about here, because these have obviously had 50 to 100 of these, and if you've only got one, that would work actually. But if you've got 50, you're going to make an extra profit on it, and you're going to satisfy your customers, which they've done.
I think shops are also getting them as well. So obviously they supply the UK, don't they? So if shops buy 50, they get a free chase, or they get a chase included, which is quite good thinking for them as well. Yeah, all in all, very happy with the chase. I never thought I'd own one. It's good to have one sitting in the loft.
The thing where there's supplying other businesses with 1 in 50 will be a chase. Obviously, we don't know how many they got. I'm unsure if the businesses are happy with that, or rather they were wanting a certain amount of boxes with they're going to be random chases on. They might get 3, they might get 0. What would you think would be the choice of other businesses in that respect? Are they happy to get 1 in 50?
I'd say yeah. I'd say one's better than none. So if you've got the chance of getting 0, then I'd always go for the 1 just in case. It just depends how they want to market it and whether the business owner is a collector themselves, because they might want to keep the chase. You never know.
Fair point.
Yeah, you just never know, do you? Personal preference. Should we take a trip down to BCA Town, should we?
Let's go.
Ooh.
Well, let's start off. I've almost completed it, which I think I'm under 10 away. I'm certain of it. Mainly with the help of these two, the headbangers. I've got Mosh and Thrasher. Picked these up early this week, last week. And two that I used to have as a child. I never owned this Mosh. I think I owned one with striped pants underneath. This one's got polka dots. Cheeky. But quite good figures, quite toyetic as far as they are.
Yeah, 2 of the better Jack's BCA ones, those guys. With the skirts, look very toyetic.
Crying out to be made in Mattel.
I'm surprised they didn't, because obviously they come back in 2016, when with the Miz, I think, wasn't it? And that sort of era with the Spirit Squad coming back as well. So yeah, I was surprised that they didn't get a release back then even.
Bizarre. But you don't know who's signed to those Legends deals. Like, there's been loads of paperwork backstage, and WWE never got figures because they never had any merchandise deals, which is a shame, really.
And also, whilst we're in BCA Town, let's have a look at this bad boy that I got. I got a Razor Ramon mint on its little card there. We're going to crack it open, not now, but at some point in life. But yeah, I'll be hoping to get a mint one as possible. So I'm really happy to get one mint on the card, because it's one that's really hard to find in good condition.
Congrats. Not a bad boy, but a bad guy.
Just, take a look at the bad guy.
Yeah, told you.
No, I believed you. I wasn't saying it's bad boy as a frame's like, oh, look at this bad boy. I wasn't saying that he is a bad boy.
I know, Jamie. I know.
So Razor Ramon, Superstars Series 1, I believe, which, if you look at all the top guys that are in Series 1, so you got Taker, Michaels, Bret Hart, Diesel, Razor Ramon, and Goldust is randomly in there.
Wrong with that. Goldust was one of the biggest at that time.
96, I don't know, I guess he was Intercontinental Champion around that time when he would have been, but
yeah,
it just didn't seem to fit in. Yeah, just for 96, you've got some top stars there, and then Goldust. So yeah, strange for me that they put him in Series 1.
I bought that from QVC.
Wow.
There you go. Is QV still going? Remember they had Bid Up TV for a while. That was on Freeview, Channel 23. I used to enjoy that of an afternoon.
I bet you did.
I used to love it. I also got this weird Major Pod belt, and I don't know what to do with that. But the sort of Major Pod T-shirt and belt combo.
To be honest, I think that belt does look quite good, to be fair.
Decent money on eBay for that.
Yeah, probably the reason I bought it, truth be told, I think it cost me about 15 quid. But yeah, what's wrong with it? Yeah, why not indeed. Another little side note, which just I only picked these up literally today. So someone posted on one of the groups that had a lot of accessories just for sale, and I noticed quite one or two of them. Al Snow's head being the major one that caught my attention. To need that for the BCAs, but they also had a Jim Cornette tennis racket from the BCA figure, which, as you guys know, it's more expensive than the figure.
Yeah.
So a few. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, it said very good pickups. Those both accessories.
So yeah, I also got some other bits involved, like Bradshaw's hat and Jerry Lawler's crown and so on, all 50p each. And I thought, oh, what a bargain this is. And it turns out that the guy literally lived, no overlie, 15 seconds walk from my house.
Have a look.
It was probably weird. I messaged him and I was like, oh, where'd you live? And he told me. And yeah, turns out it was literally over the road. So, yeah. 50p, I think it was about 13, which is awkward. He had to walk with his dad to come meet me. But it was one of those Facebook things where they arrive at people's houses and exploit them. But yeah, accessories 50p each and free pickup as well. Lovely.
Yep.
Goodness.
Good one.
Exploiting a 13-year-old, always good. Right, so shall we move on to our breaking down segment now, boys? We all have pickups.
Whoa. Still got two.
Oh, Adam, forgive me. I thought you'd gone. That's why I was rifling them all off. I thought you'd shot your load. Sorry.
Well, no, you said BCA, so I thought that was just one of your segments.
Oh, no, carry on after you.
So I picked a couple of figures up from Samuel Beattie. I've had these figures a couple of times and got rid of them, and I keep regretting it. So I'm 100% keeping these figures, which are 2 out of the 3 from the 3-pack WCW with Sting and Lex Luger. Definitely the best Luger figure that they've ever done. I really, really enjoy that Luger figure. I don't know why, because it's quite plain apart from the face. The Sting has got crazy eyes. I don't know if you can really make them out on here, but I quite like that as well from that kind of phase, and really nicely designed tights for the Stinger. So I just need to pick up the Macho Man to complete that one.
Yeah, those 3 figures actually really good set to have in terms of what was a historical match. So it's good.
Oh, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, I know Sam Beatty's got a big Macho Man collection, so I guess that makes sense as to why he got the two there. So yeah, obviously great figures as well. I think Sting is quite an expensive pack to get, hard to pick up.
Yeah, decent priced as well. So thank you, Samuel, for that one. And the last one I've got, I took apart my display the other week, and Macho Man was really, really loose-legged. So I thought to myself, I need a new Macho Man, and the opportunity came up with one of my mates to get that one, which is the Chase.
I seen him selling it in a group, and I was just mulling it over, and I was thinking, should I? And then I think it got claimed. I didn't realize it was you that did it, but yeah, I kind of regret not picking that one up as well.
Yeah, I really dislike this cream hand thing with the cream of the crop thing, but he's got another hand, so I've only recently got this, so I'll replace it. The bandana's probably the best one that's come with Macho Man, as far as visually on the eye. The figure-wise, it's pretty similar to other Macho Mans. They've used exactly the same model, so hopefully the legs don't end up jelly legged like my other ones have. The T-shirt is slightly different though, because it's got lots of rips on the arms.
Wow.
Inaccurate. It's been found to be inaccurate. He never wore that T-shirt with the rips like that on it. So I don't know. Nobody knows why they've done it like that.
I'll swap it out then.
Yep, indeed. I think I've just got mine lying around there. Handy.
So is that the Chase?
It is, yeah, the yellow one.
Is the creamer, is that part of the hand? Is it molded onto the hand?
Yeah, it's just attached.
Oh, right. I didn't know it would come in a separate thing. I prefer that. It's quite a good figure, truth be told, isn't it? I don't, match shows you don't really change, do they? But All in
Just,
all,
I just, the face just makes it look like he's got no teeth because he's like, and I just don't appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull my finger out and get some of these legends over. I'll have to try and just get them off eBay, I guess, from the US and import them because, yeah, I don't think they're going to get any cheaper.
no, I think certain ones you'll be looking at. Well, I think the current series is what 40, 45 retail over here. I've seen Bam Bam go for around there anyway over here.
This current series seems to be a lot more plentiful than the last one, though. Like beefcakes and DDPs and stuff. You didn't see many.
I think there's still DDPs and beefcakes to come out, according to Mattel. They're still coming, so they're not all out yet. So more to come.
Yeah, so I think we've only I'm pretty sure on eBay at the moment, beefcakes are going for 80, 85. Just the standard. Yeah, which is crazy. Absolute craziness. Hopefully the Zodiac doesn't sell for that much. Adam, are we about to move on now? Have you got anything else hidden away?
I've just got a pen in front of me if you want me to talk about that. But other than that, I'm done.
Sell me this pen. Lovely stuff. Let's move on to break it down now, shall we? Or bick it down if we're talking pen references. We'll see you in a bit.
Break it down.
Just when you think you've seen it all from the wrestling industry, Mattel Creations go and completely change the game as to how they're going to represent and how they're going to sell wrestling figures. What we've seen from the new gen arena is quite revolutionary in the business that we love. Johnny, what's your view, first of all, when we come down to the Mattel Creations and the crowdfunding element of it and that way of selling? What's your view on that?
I was quite happy to see it. To be honest, I thought it was a good way of presenting such, something that's quite high value, but they couldn't take a risk on making it, and they also couldn't put it in shops because of the size of it. I noticed they're always talking about how they can't get shelf space, so it's why they haven't made any more big play sets or stuff like that. It's because they haven't got a Toys R Us or something to put them in. So if this is the only route of getting them, fair play. And to be honest, the whole thing worked a charm. It was really well done. Adam the Macho Man during the campaign was icing on the cake, which sold it and pushed it over the edge.
Yeah, completely agree. I think the shelf space seems to be the biggest issue, and I think a current day solution to those sorts of problems seems to be, well, we'll do it. Look at AEW with AEW Dark as a bit of a side note. Not going to get the TV time for it. Fine, we'll do the TV time for YouTube. It's free. Not going to give us the shelf space. Fine, we'll just sell them ourselves on our website. It seems to be the new in thing for it, and quite frankly, I'm here for it as well. So it was a good way of looking at business. Adam, let's come to quickly on sort of the Mattel Creation. So with the basically it's a website. So rather than going through e-commerce and going through your Smiths and your Toys R Us and paying them taking their cut, they can essentially sell directly now from Mattel Creations. What's your views on that element of the business?
Yeah, I mean, I've got mixed reviews on. I'll concentrate on this exact product that they just sold. I mean, the idea of what you're saying is really good. Cuts out the middleman, saves a bit of money. The product that people are going to receive from this specific one that they bought with the Macho Man, the ring, the walkway, Doink, Diesel, that is value for money. For the £250, that is absolutely brilliant value for money. But the problem that I have with it is that a lot of normal, regular collectors will not have had £250 to get this. And my worry about this particular one is that the percentage of actual people who want this product versus resellers, I think it'll be quite even Stevens, to be honest, on that percentage. And that's what I didn't like. It is definitely value for money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about what you get. But the fact that it is 250 quid chunk all at once didn't sit right with me for the collecting world. You might have different opinions from me about
that. Yes, I probably do. In a way, I do agree that a lot is probably even 50% of being bought by resellers. And and then you go to the other side about paying £250. I think in the collector community, if there's a will, there's a way. If they want it enough, they'll get the 250. So, and there was always the payment plans with Klarna as well. So it's not as if everyone didn't have the opportunity. And so I disagree on that respect. I think if someone really wanted it, they could really get it.
You're definitely right. Where there's a will, there's a way. And what I've done is that I only wanted certain pieces out of it. So I've made a deal with somebody who's got it for the other pieces. So you're definitely right. There is a will and a way. But, you know, if I didn't have those contacts and if I wasn't as into the wrestling world as I am now, 250 quid is a massive thing for if I wanted one item.
Yeah, I can see it that way, but you've also got a thing where if you did one item, you could buy it and then sell the rest and keep the item for free. Essentially, you'd think in terms of the resale value.
Yeah, but again, it's somebody buying to resell again. There's a lot of it.
Right. I think we're kind of maybe going off the waves a bit here because this is really about crowdfunding and not really just about Mattel Creations, which is a website that sells things in a buy it now capacity as well. So we specifically talk about crowdfunding. So rather than bog ourselves down with other things on Mattel Creations website, Jamie, you'll just talk about what the crowdfunding is and where it could lead in the future.
And here's me thinking that I'd have to do all the talking for this segment. So yeah, so things for the future. So you got to think where they're going to go next. Obviously, new generation was quite a risk for them to take, to say the least, because it's quite a relatively niche market. We look at people that won the 80s, people that won the Attitude Era. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys wanting to see next? Johnny, let's come to you first again. What's your dream next?
Put me on the spot, why don't you? I haven't had a chance to really think about that. You're looking in the same lines, an arena type deal with figures, but ideally, I would like to see them somehow use that money to sign people that you wouldn't normally see in the line. And I think something like a 5-pack with the first few WWF champions would be a good one with all the belts. So you get Buddy Rogers and Stan Stasiak and Pedro Morales all in one pack. Would be quite a unique one. Something like that was quite high up for me.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing, to be honest. I kind of got visions of, when you said about the stadium, I kind of got visions of Wembley, and I kind of got visions of LOD motorbikes, that kind of thing, where I can see it maybe going to next. But I think it would probably go to the Attitude Era. I think that's where it will go next.
Yeah, that's going to be... It's got to be the next thing. Sorry, I was going to say that's got to be the next. You'd hope so. You'd hope either a stage or maybe King of the Ring with a Hell in a Cell or something in that.
Yeah, you're right. There hasn't been like a scale Hell in a Cell because they've got the ring now. They probably should be adding a Hell in a Cell or a cage for it next time, or something to set up a ladder match or some scaffolding. That type of thing. So I think there's a lot of potential in adding to the scale ring that they've already designed. So there's a lot of go from there as well.
Yeah.
Essentially, what maybe you could do is just keep adding stuff. So you keep building arena parts. So you could even get a crowd eventually, or endless possibilities. So you end up eventually having a massive arena type thing with everything. Cameramen, things like that.
We discussed it before, didn't we, with that what's a company called that had the event staff and the...
I wrote down here on some previous news notes. Squared Circle Toys, Ringside Chaos.
There we go. So we had them with they're also doing a crowdfunder for that type of thing as well. So that seems to be, for the risks, the best foot forward.
Absolutely. For a small company like that, it's probably essential that they do that because they're going to need some inflow of cash to actually get stuff made. So I'm very happy to, once that comes on to sale, I'll try and support it if I can. It might just be a US thing, I never know, but I'll try.
See, so I think with well, as I said before, with King of the Ring is going to be my ideal thing. If they're releasing a Hell in a Cell, there is Ultimate Mankind and Ultimate Taker from that event, and obviously as potential unlockable things that you can get with it, as in King of the Ring skirts and so on. Maybe an Ultimate Sable would be a treat as well. So,
Yeah,
well said, Royston.
I quite like the tier system as well. So you get an incentive to buy it as well. So if it goes over certain numbers, you're going to get something extra, and it'll work with the Macho Man to like say, or if you order before this point, you'll definitely get this card added. But if you order after this point, you won't get it. I think that was a good tactic to use, and they should use that one going forward as well.
Do you think that was always the plan with that one? Do you think the plan was always Macho Man, or do you think they came up with it when they saw the figures?
I think they've only come up with it to push sales because they were quite quiet to begin with. And I don't think it was ever planned in that way. They might have had this Macho Man in their thoughts for a release in the Ultimate line eventually, but no, I think they've done it as reactionary rather than something that was planned.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. I'd say that the key thing for that is the fact they didn't have a render or a figure ready. They had a Doink, they had a Diesel, they had nothing for the Macho, just an image of Macho at the event.
Yeah.
With the table and so on. So whether they're in early production or early designs for it.
Yes, they'll definitely be losing out if they don't put some sort of early bird special in the next one.
A Golden Era would also be a place that they could potentially go to, maybe a WrestleMania 1 arena or something similar. Fingers crossed for Lord Alfred Hayes Ultimate, which would be a treat. But there's so many possibilities that they could do for those. WrestleMania 2 with the steel cage, so many different avenues you could look down. I think it's quite exciting for collectors, not knowing what's going to come next. And I think it's quite a good place to be in because they could literally take these sorts of risks now.
Yes. Adam?
Sorry?
Just my 2 pence into the situation. AEW could potentially, I'm surprised they haven't had a look at this option or could potentially down the road have a look at this sort of option as well.
Yeah, definitely. I don't see why not. If they've seen that it's a success by Mattel, so they'll certainly be looking into it, I would imagine.
Yeah, you're going to see quite a lot of companies doing this now, aren't you? Piggybacking off Mattel's success. But
the thing is, you're saying that it's Mattel's success. Other companies have been doing it for years, particularly Hasbro, which I can't remember what was called in terms of Hasbro Creations. Let's just say it's not called that; it's called something else. But they've been doing it for a while, and I think they were doing it for Star Wars. A big Star Wars toy or something. Don't follow the line. Back the barge. That's what it's called. Wherever the barge is, I don't know what it was, but yeah, that was. So I think Hasbro may be the first toy company to be doing that.
I think the barge is something Star Wars related, isn't it? Is that not?
I think so, but I couldn't tell you what because I've got no interest in Star Wars whatsoever.
No, I think Battle of the Barge comes to mind. I don't know why. An Ewok thing. I don't know. But yeah, I think Hasbro do the same thing with Power Rangers type goodies, didn't they? And they've got the Ghostbusters line as well. So all those sorts of big play sets that, as you said, shelf space wise, it's going to cost too much. There's too much risk and not enough reward for them there. So it makes complete sense, and I really, really enjoy it. And can't wait to see where they go next. But as you said before, it could be potentially changing the game as to what other figure companies are doing wrestling figure wise anyway, because I don't remember seeing another wrestling figure company doing this.
No. I mean, we had the brawlers, which were a similar-ish thing, but obviously there was no kind of reward for if you got a certain number of buys. It was just we will make these if and when you buy them, which is a similar vein.
Yeah, it's a pre-order system that I think's the best way of doing the pre-orders. We've already discussed that. But yeah, it's not the same as crowdfunding. But let's not get into that. There's no point in arguing.
It's a conversation for a different time.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, so everyone gets what if the pre-orders are up for. Well, they're crowdfunding was up for what 30 days or so, 31 days. So I think everyone would have had a payday by then. So if they've got the cash spare, then obviously you would have thought everyone had a chance to buy one if they really, really wanted it. So essentially it won't stop scalpers, but it does its best to stop scalpers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because everyone's got opportunities to do it. I mean, obviously you could buy one for $250 and sell them for $80 or whatever, but if everyone has the same opportunities to do that.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm not. I haven't bought multiple of these with that, but I was also thinking, I'm doing my part. I've contributed a bit more than normal people have, so that was the original thinking.
I think one of the key selling factors for certain people was that all of the Ultimates would come in the separate packaging. I think that's a key thing for it, is that is not just going to throw into a bag, into a box. They're actually going to be in the Ultimate style packaging for uniform collectors. So good to see that. And
people are going mad for the Ultimates, so especially in completion terms and MOC as well. So very smart move.
Indeed. So, final thoughts on Mattel Creation, then, boys. So, if you had to, I know we touched on that earlier, but a dream one, rather than realistic and what they could do, what's the dream scenario for you guys if they did make it? I think for me, it would be the SmackDown Fist from the Ruthless Aggression era. If they did a big Mattel scale side of that, I think I'd really enjoy it. Maybe with a couple of Ultimates in there from like a Kurt Angle or maybe a Lesnar from that era. I'd really enjoy.
Good shout.
If you're gonna ask for my personal dream, I want Bob Holly and Al Snow. I want the River and I want the Pyramid from their hardcore match at a February pay-per-view. I can't remember which one it was.
St. Valentine's Day Massacre, 99.
Yeah, good one as well. I'd maybe say something like a Nitro entrance or an arena with some sort of structure so you can lower Sting down and something like that. Something WCW.
Toy Biz did one of those, did they? I think they did that exact.
Yeah, I'm looking at one now. It's why I said it. First thing that popped into my head.
It's convenient. I remember I think the Bash of the Beach one would be more toyetic, wouldn't it? Surely, because of all the different things you could.
That was more of a kid's toy, something you can play with in the bathroom, wasn't it?
I only had a shower as a child, didn't have the same effect. But yeah, it would have been a good thing. But yeah, I think WCW would be the next place to go. I think for certain people, would love to see WCW risk like this. But for me, it's always going to be WWF for me. So
now I know what I want. War Games, obviously. You get another ring, just one ring. There's no, you get another, and you get the ring skirt that goes all the way around, and you get the two, the cage that fills two rings. Yeah, that's what I want. Full scale War Games, WCW style, not NXT. Although you could probably just do the same, take the roof off type of thing anyway. So maybe a 2-in-1 NXT/WCW War Games. Yeah.
I know they've just released another version of the War Games Mattel have with Keith Lee figure.
All right.
So whether that's a sign that they're looking into it, I don't know. But I don't know what the sort of different tiers would be. Would it be like if you get to 7,000, you'd get the rest of the cage or the second ring or the top of the cage? I don't know, but I can't see that. It'd be a treat, but I can't see that. Maybe
add extra figures rather than that's the base product. You get the ring and the cage and stuff and the skirts, but then as an extra you could get the figures, some WCW themed figures, Ric Flair or whatever, and maybe some extra skirts like Fall Brawl. I know they've had War Games at the Fall Brawl pay-per-view, so there's options to go there.
You get to the highest tier, you get a third ring, and you can have a World War III match.
Probably a step too far.
That's we said before how much we used to love the Rumbles back in the day. I wish I would have found that when I was a kid. 3 rings of Royal Rumbles at the same time. Lovely. But yeah, all in all, I think it's very positive for wrestling figure collectors, and it's good to see from Mattel Creations taking those risks, and hopefully other companies follow in the wrestling figure game. So good to see, boys. You guys ready for some retro review?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Retro review time now. We're looking at all the retros all the Hasbros from Series 3, not including Bret Hart, who is Series 4. Apologies for anyone that left the score for Bret on the Legion of Hasbro Facebook group this week. And also thanks to Legion of Hasbro, who kindly scored all the figures from this series. Let's cut across to Johnny for the Series 2.
Yes, so we done Series 2 last week, and I released the scores on our page and on the LOH group, and we've seen that the Ultimate Warrior from Series 2 is now top of the table. So with Honky Tonk Man in second place, so some high scorers from Series 2 there, as well as some low scorers. Because we have the Rockers at rock bottom, both of them. Shawn Michaels is below Jannetty, and then above them, Piper and Snooker. Probably due to my very kind scoring of Jimmy Snooker, he's made his way out of the table a little bit.
Bless him. So we're on to Series 3 now, who was sort of a very fond series for me. This is a series that I had quite plentiful of in my as a kid. Johnny, which we should start with Big Boss Man first.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start with the Big Boss Man. Here he is. I'm holding him right now. Same attire as such as his first release. So, it's a classic Bossman attire, but it comes with a different action in the clothesline type. And of course, comes with the trusty nightstick, and no longer has glasses, unlike the first one. So you'd think it's more of a in-ring ready type Bossman. And yeah, it's a good one, this. I never had this one as a kid. I always had the other one, but I'd probably rate this one better just having a quick look at him now.
Adam, crack on.
Yeah, as a kid, this was my favourite Hasbro to play with as a kid. I got one and broke his arm off within about a week of getting one. And then I had to search for another one. Managed to find it. This, for me, is quite close to being a perfect figure. The action for the Bossman Slam is absolutely brilliant. The face, taking the sunglasses off, it makes him look like more of a good guy. I don't know why, but it just does. The body is more streamlined, more trimmed, like he trimmed down when he became a face, very slightly. Not loads, but slightly. And the nightstick. I'm not sure you can ask for much more from a figure as this looks.
I think one of my favourite things about this figure is obviously Bossman, when he got quite far into a match, his shirt would unbutton quite low down. Obviously, it'd start off relatively high up, and then during the match, it would go down. And see, on the figure, the shirt's quite low button down, which I used to quite enjoy. Now, as an adult, I appreciate more than also did as a kid and everything I noticed as a kid. But yeah, I completely agree. As a figure, it's completely perfect. What more could you want from a Bossman figure than a figure that can do his finishing move, has the nightstick, looks like him, and is toyetic? What more could you want?
Yep, Jamie, you've absolutely nailed that. I didn't even notice about the top being open and the detail they've actually went into to do that as well, because the line that goes down the black line is, partially over that top being over as well. So that is detail for you. So I'm going to start at the scores, and it's my highest score so far in Hasbro Retro Review, 9.5.
Ooh. Let's cut across to Legion of Hasbro. Let's go to Mohammed Shafi. He said 8.5. I was recently told that I look like Series 3 Boss Man when I actually look like a Series 1 Boss Man. Comments made me cry aside. This figure is actually easily distinguishable as Big Boss Man, and the accessory is great too. So that's great to see. He's given it an 8. I'm going to give it very close to your score, Johnny. It's almost perfect for me, 9.6.
Even higher. Mohammed, he's right in his description, but he's wrong in that he looks nothing like the Big Boss Man. I don't know where he's got that from.
No, someone said it to him.
I don't know where they got it from.
I'm guessing it's a blind person.
Maybe.
So My score is definitely my highest so far. I'm only going to knock a tiny little bit off because I think they trimmed him down very slightly too much compared to the fat number one. And I'm going to give it a 9.8.
Whoa. I thought you were going to go lower there. So that is a massive score, that. Fair enough. Well, especially when you compare it to the Series 1. So much better with a white base with the zebra print and a bit of pink or red on there as well. Black shears, so you get an accessory again. Yeah, nice little punching action. Jamie's got it there. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this Brutus. I think I said to you guys before, I got it from a garden centre in Ruislip when I was a kid. I remember seeing it on the shelf. I think it was next to a Skinner, which is weird how the series worked out. So very fond memories of picking this up. I must have been 5 or 6, I would have thought. So it must have been 95, 96 time. But yeah, compared to Series 1 Brewers, this is a class figure. You got everything you want. It's my favourite action because the legs are separate, the hands are separate. You can do any move with it that you wanted to do as well. And there's a little action with it. And the scissors, shears, also great.
Well, you can't do a sleeper with it, but you can do pretty much everything else.
You can do a sleeper with that. Hey?
Yeah, that'll do.
It's not quite. It's more of like he's got some chloroform in his hand, and he's Ace Ventura him on the run track. But you can do a sleeper on him. His arm's a bit kinked.
This was a figure that I wasn't really bothered about when I was a kid. I can now appreciate how much better it is than the original Beefcake. I don't own this figure. Is the head different to the other one?
Yeah, it looks less like Richie from Bottom.
Yeah, it must be different. It's better, I think. Yeah. Anyway,
I thought the hair was like shorter, but I didn't know if facial-wise anything had changed.
He's still got some sort of crazy eyes, but they're not as crazy as before. Which, to be honest, Brutus did do a lot of promos with his eyes bulging out.
Yeah, but it doesn't look 100% like him as the other one did. But as a figure-wise, I can very much appreciate it. I love the sleeves on the arms as well. I think that's a good addition for it. And the shears. So, yeah, it's a good figure.
Yeah. Got to appreciate the accessories as well. So, yeah, smashing.
Well, Mike Jackson from the Legion of Hasbro, also for the FWL. Hello, Mike. One of the favourite Hasbros, he said he loves the mould, the attire is great for customs and an incomparable upgrade on its predecessor. Very long words there, Mike. Well done.
Indeed. So, scores, Jamie.
As I said, I love this figure. It's got a bit of sentimental value for me. As a kid, I loved it. As an adult, I love it. It's got to be an 8.8 for me.
Nice one. And Adam?
Yeah, not quite as high from me. Still definitely room for improvement on that figure. It's an 8.
Yeah. And I've scored it slightly above that, 8.2.
And one of the biggest downsides to it is it's just too muscly, I think, on the body. I don't think Brutus was ever that sort of beefy, was he?
You'd be surprised. He was in good shape. Was Brutus, to be fair. We'll move on to someone who might not have been in as good shape. It is the Earthquake. Adam's got him. We've all got him.
We've all got him. I've got the missing some letters variant, as you can see in the singlet.
Who wants to talk us through this one?
I'll start if you want.
Go on, Adam.
So, we'll start with the lettering, as Jamie just mentioned. It was always a case of you'd pick them up and half of the lettering would be missing from Kai Boots. So that's a bit of a downside of this figure. But if you get a good one, it looks smashing. The yellow colouring is brilliant on the front of it. The body shape is nice. You can definitely associate Earthquake with this body shape. I love the fact that it comes with his jumping before he does the Earthquake splash. You can jump around the ring with him like that. Facial wise, angry Earthquake, it's good. I think they've got the boldness to a degree, but I don't think the hairline is quite right. I think it's very generous on Earthquake. And they're putting a nice design tattoo. It's a pretty a lot of little tiny design in that tattoo, which is good. Yeah, that's me done.
I think you've nailed everything apart from one very important thing, is that it's the first figure to come with some leg articulation. So he's got that to do the actual Earthquake splash, which is a phenomenal action for Earthquake. So it's perfect action, I would say, perfect body. And, you know, the head's not bad. It's not brilliant, but it's not bad. And you got a thing with the lettering, but if you get a nice one, it's pretty good.
It looks like I'm doing a figure reveal for my own figure head, isn't it? Look quite alike, me and our Earthquake. If I had your hair, Johnny, it'd be a complete match. I completely got on the tattoo. Very detailed for back then, and for such a small detail as well. On the figure, I think it's really, really good. I have fond memories of this as a centre back in my Hasbro football. But yeah, it's just a very good all-round figure. What more could you have wanted from an Earthquake figure? Maybe potentially a natural disasters outfit, but we've heard the story a million times about it being too late to switch over.
Ifs and buts about the attire. I'm happy to get this because it's more of a singles version. But in fact, it's a version that you can use for singles Earthquake and as a tag team, because it did have a little crossover point where he's still wearing the blue during natural disasters.
And they're sold separately. So if you can just afford an Earthquake, it makes complete sense. Quick one from Legion of Hasbro. Robbie Duncan has put 10 end poll. He's quite a big Earthquake fan.
Yeah, I noticed he did a quite a good promo as Earthquake a few weeks ago on the group. It was quite entertaining.
I think I watched that at work. I'll start off with the scores. It's just a straight 8 for me on this.
Grade 8. I'm going with a straight 8.4.
So Ben.
And I was just going one lower, 8.3.
Interesting. All in the same ballpark. And as we move on to the other half of the dream team, it's Greg Valentine.
Oh, okay. So I've got Greg, but he's in the loft somewhere. He's my first thing with this Greg is I love the detail of the knee pad. I think that's one of my favourite. The only outstanding feature from this is the knee pad being a bit lower down as a shin guard.
Actually, you're right. I've only just noticed that. For some reason, he's got a knee pad on as well as the shin guard. And, you know, he never wore knee pads. So this is not just a shin guard. It's a knee pad plus a shin guard. You can see there. Just like that. I've never noticed that before, so that's a bit inaccurate. Naughty. So I always thought this was like one of those figures that was, basic but well done, as we always thought about. But with that inaccuracy there, that's going to put my scores a bit. I might have to rethink this one.
You're going to put down the hammer?
I might do. The writing on the back of the trunk's pretty good as well, to be fair, though.
Yeah, I know the whole story behind Rhythm and Blues, Greg Valentine and whatnot, and we've heard it a million times from other sources and so on. But I think this figure's my favourite Greg Valentine, if there is such a thing. It's like picking a favourite Emily Sandé song, isn't it? But it's just one of those things that you always remember Greg Valentine in this attire. So it makes complete sense to me to have this.
Yes. Anything to add to that, Adam?
I actually prefer Greg Valentine in yellow. That's the only thing that I was going to say. Is hair and eyebrows, are they that different in real life?
I suppose I think he did have, dark eyebrows and blonde hair, so
it just always sticks out to me, his face. That's the first thing I see when I see a Valentine figure, is the bushy black eyebrows and the bright yellow hair, which I don't know, it's not quite right to me, that one. Body wise, it's probably the right mold. He is kind of that fat. Thoughts behind the action?
I don't know. What could he do? I suppose he's got the legs, so you could put a figure 4 leg up on if you're the figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the clothesline. Everyone does a clothesline, so why not? I suppose that, he's got an elbow drop, but yeah, I suppose that could work. It does go both ways. This action, so it could be an elbow drop.
But yeah, I'm not sure what
sorry.
else. I'm not sure what else you could give Valentine. It's the only thing that fits his body shape.
Yeah. So it's also got a molded bit here where it says Greg on the trunks that he has in real life, but it's not painted. So it's another one of them things like the Macho Man's wrist tape, but never painted it. So they've molded the Greg logo and never painted that.
Weirdly, when I was finding an image for the retro review picture, all I could find was certain ones that had that Greg painted on the front of the trunks.
Maybe it was like a prototype was like that, or they've customized it.
Don't know,
Or
but
maybe
yeah,
a wrong one.
Yeah, he's just watched it too much. But yeah, there's just I did it and I had to redo it because I noticed the Greg at the front, which wound me up a little bit. So let's cut across the LOH first, shall we? Simon Halsall, a new commenter, said 9 solely on the grounds that he was my first or second Hasbro as a child, and for some unknown reason that is, sorry in English, I was really into the hammer. That's what he said. So we found Greg Valentine's biggest fan there.
Nice one. He has a point, to be fair. Like, for every Hulk Hogan, you're going to need someone for Hulk Hogan to beat up. And, Greg was a mainstay during the 80s and early 90s, so good character to have. I'll kick us off with scores. I probably would have went in the 8s if it wasn't for that. Well, I've just noticed with the knee pad and then the unpainted Greg. So I'm going to go 7.6 for this.
To me, I still think that's too high. I know we keep saying it's a very basic figure done well, and what else can you do? But I think it should. I think a boring 7. I said the same thing about Duggan, and I think I gave that a boring flat 7.
Yeah. I'm going to go even lower on this one because I think there is too many inconsistencies that we've spoken about. So 6.5, 6.5.
No, I think they're all fair comments, and we've kind of like, Jamie's in the middle of us two. So balances out either way. We've done pretty much an even 7 between the three of us. As we move on to something that's probably going to be more than a 7, it's Series 3 Hulk Hogan with his Hulkster Rules vest on, or tank top, they might call it in the USA, and red bandana. Go on, Adam. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, I've got a pretty perfect version here, which is good. This was always my favourite Hogan. The other one, Series 1 Hogan is iconic. You can't take that away from it. But this, on the whole, you can do so much more with it. You can do so many moves. You can, suplex, blah, blah, blah. It's not as iconic. He's got the Hulkster Rules bit on. Love the shirt. The rips in the back. It's just a nice figure. It's bulky. I don't know why that appeals to me, but it's a very bulky figure that you can do a lot with, and I appreciate that. I like that.
Yeah, that's it. All very good comments, and I agree. I think the detail on the face is a bit better as well. It's more of a promo Hogan with his teeth gritted, and the tan is there completely. Just noticed on mine, I probably need to upgrade this one because my lettering's fading a bit. So yeah, Jamie, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's by far my favourite Hogan. Without even being close to the others, truth be told. I remember this as a kid. It was just always the one that I would use. Does a really good suplex. You can do a leg drop to a certain extent. Looks good. Even the rubber arm. I didn't understand why it's got rubber arm, but I'm happy it's got rubber arm. Yeah, by far my favourite Hogan.
Is it rubber?
No, I don't know what it is, but it's
softer anyway. Yeah,
it's weird. It's a weird arm. It's like a dead arm. It's like you've been sat on it for a while. Yeah, it's just very weird when it's there. yeah, all of my favourite Hogan, and Legion Hasbro seem to agree. Gavin Lee Castleton has said 9 out of 10 for me as well. They did a few over with the mailway design on the basis that just to repurpose it's the same figure. Thank God for customizers. Now we can own one at a fair price. God, that was hard for me to read in my Cornish accent, wasn't it? Jesus. All in all, what he's saying is that it's good that they've done this figure so customizers can then make the Hogan mailway out of it.
Right. Understandable. Yes, I never thought of that either.
Call me Dr. Doolittle. But yeah, all in all, a very good figure. I'm going to give it. It's really hard because Big Boss Man, I gave that a 9.6. I can't really find a fault with this figure. A 9.9. 9.9. It's going to have to be.
Oh. Jesus. I'm going to go quite harsh here. I might even be a bit of a heel on this one, but I like it, but I don't love it. It's 8.7 for me.
You're a real POS. Did you know that?
Uh-oh.
Long hard look at yourself.
I think I was in the middle of those. So I was thinking around the 9.2 area. Nothing's made me think more or less, so I'll go with that. 9.2.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just obviously it's just a good combination of as a kid, it was always my favorite figure, and now as an adult, when you look at it, it's still like that and Honky is my favorite two figures to look at as an adult because it's just so visually pleasing and so accurate, and it's so good for playability. I think that's why it ticks all the boxes for me.
Yep, your opinion is as valid as anyone else's, Jamie.
Well, more so than anything because I'm doing the talking and the editing, so I can edit yours out if needs be. What are we on to next?
We're on to the Birdman. Coco Beware with Frankie.
I haven't got Frankie on mine.
I think I need a new Frankie, or I need a wash.
Frankie.
Yeah, so I always think Coco Beware would make a fantastic Mattel figure because of the amount of accessories that come with, and that he usually wore very bright colours. And this one's no different, really. I think it's one of the better jumpers, and the detail. And sorry, not detail. It's not very detailed. It's kind of simple but done well. He could have said he could have had the bird on the tights, so that's missing detail. But I think the face is good, the likeness is good, and like Greg Valentine, for every Hulk Hogan or Ted DiBiase, you're going to need someone to beat on, and this is Coco for that.
I think sorry, Adam, go ahead.
I think you've touched on everything really there. I do think the bird was needed on the tights. I think that's a bit of a cop out that they didn't have it. I'm not a fan of them wearing shades, just because I like them to be as they were in ring. Frankie's a really good accessory. I've got him with my custom Mattel Coco Beware SummerSlam 90, I think, where he was against Big Boss Man in the white tights. I've got him in that one. But yeah, it does the job of looking like him. It does the job of being a flyer, which I think it probably needed to be, because you can kind of still do that with the hands as well, like he used to flap the wings. It's a decent figure with a lack of effort in certain areas.
I just noticed some effort, if we're going to talk about, is that this jumper seems to have a layer of flab going around, which the other ones kind of didn't. So that's pretty. We've seen it's lost detail on the bird not being there, but there's some detail on the body.
I think the only other one that had that, I think Repo Man had the same body, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, obviously you had a bit of layer of the flab on. I think tights wise, I think the general consensus seems to be, why didn't they go for like a green or go for a Coco from when this was released in 91 Coco? This seems to be a late 80s, early 90s sort of one. I think that seems to be the general consensus, is that this isn't the sort of trousers they wanted. Maybe a green, maybe a new high energy Coco.
Yeah, but you're talking about that again, where he wasn't in high energy at the time. He wasn't wearing those baggy pants until, was it late 92 or mid 92, which these have been designed in 91, you'd think, by the looks of the attires we got. And the fact that Typhoon's in the same series, which is coming up next week.
But he wasn't in this in 91, though, was he?
Yeah, I think he was, actually. I think the only time I don't really remember too many matches from 91 with Coco, but he was still wearing this sort of get-up, I would say, yeah.
All I can think is he's dressed like his bird. That's
pretty much matches.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what they're going for. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt on it.
Yeah, I don't mind the selection of attire. Just could have maybe done a little bit more detail. So let's see what the Legion of Hasbro think, Jamie.
To Legion of Hasbro, let's go to Jason Lipscomb. He said, best jumper by far, and Frankie looks ace on his arm, and he's given it a 9. And whilst we're here, let's treat ourselves. David O'Neill was said, great figure and likeness, also great accessory to go with. Only reason I've dropped points is because they could have went with a better attire. 8 out of 10.
Very good. For a jumper, that's quite high scores, isn't it? So my thinking is that I might have given it somewhere around 6.5, but because it comes with the accessory, I might add another whole point on. So I'm going to go 7.4 for the overall of that one.
Yeah, similar ballpark from me. 7.7, the accessory bumping it up.
Yeah, definitely. I said just a figure alone, it would have been a standard sort of 6.5. I think the Frankie's a great accessory to go with it. So yeah, 7.2 from me. I think the one thing that's missing, I just realised, it come with a shirt, like what he used to wear for his entrance, or like the jacket or something. That maybe would have, because it would have made sense for the glasses to then been on.
Yeah, see what you mean. But you can't have everything, can we?
We can't. You can't have accessory and correct attire. Who do we think we are?
Yep. So, yes, looking at the scores here, we've been quite high today. Must have been a good mood, though, we?
It's bank holiday, isn't it? We've had a long, relaxing weekend.
Yeah.
Not very relaxing for me, but yep, a good one. Enjoyed it.
Which you have. Beyond and all, have you got a list of what's to come?
Sure. Next week we have Macho Man, which is Macho King with Macho Man on the back of the tights with no accessories. Can't wait for that one. Mr. Perfect, Sergeant Slaughter, Texas Tornado, Typhoon, and another Ultimate Warrior.
It's a great series, isn't it? Series 3.
And 12 wrestlers as well for one series. Massive treats.
Bloody hell. Right, boys. Adam, thank you for your input and thank you for your time in this episode.
All right. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Oh, you bloody will. And not Johnny the Wrestling Man. That's the wrong way around. Johnny Flashback.
Yes, I enjoyed this one. Like I did last week.
Yes, at least you've enjoyed 2 in a row now. That's not much of a chore for you, is it? But yeah, we'll see you for next episode, boys. I'll see you soon.